Alright, this class was pretty good. We started out reviewing some of the stuff that we'd done in the week or 2 weeks prior. That's Tong Da. I still need to specifically ask, but it looks like that rotation that I talked about previously is definitely not happening on the heel. It looks like it's happening either on the toes or maybe like the center of the foot or something, but definitely not the heel. We were supposed to sink that weight onto the back leg though, sort of like a cat stance. I think in a previous video I mentioned that the weight was supposed to be centered, so either we were doing something a little different or more likely I was wrong that time. It happens a lot actually. So we started with a partner drill like we'd done in the previous week, where one person punches and the other person does the Tong Da, either just with rotating or with a step into it. And then we moved into something that was quite similar to a defense that we have in Tong Soo Do. So in Tong Soo Do we have a self-defense where someone grabs your shoulder and you trap the hand and then wrap, which sort of throws them off balance, and then you can sort of attack because they're all messed up. This one was quite similar, this Wing Chun one that we did. It was like a shoulder grab from the back, and it was quite similar. You brought your arm up, you turned around, and then you sort of brought your hand around and brought your other hand in to help trap. So there were two great things about this. One was that it was similar to that Tong Soo Do self-defense that I'm used to, and another one was that it incorporated some stuff that we did in a previous class. So a couple weeks before, we had done a defense from a push, where you block and then bring that arm around, and then you have an arm bar. And this defense was pretty much exactly the same, but from a different attack. So someone grabs you and you came around, and now you're almost in that same position. One hand here, and this hand can wrap around into the arm bar. I think I've mentioned in like every one of these Wing Chun videos that I like when the stuff builds on itself, and when you can use similar defenses for different attacks, so that there's fewer things that you're learning. And this was a perfect example of that. We're using something we've used before, that block, wrap, arm bar. Same thing, it's not different, but we're using it from a completely different attack. So instead of coming up with something new, we're reutilizing something we already know. So instead of having to learn another thing and keep them straight in our head, it's still just one thing. And just like how in that class we had different responses based on what the attacker does, you can go into the arm bar. If they stand up, you can attack the face. If they try to turn out of it, you can do a different arm bar to the back. We had multiple things that we could do for this one. We could do the arm bar. If they were more threatening, we could attack the face, or if they stood up, we could attack the face, just like we'd done it in that previous class. So I loved that, honestly. I really like when it builds on itself like that. I'm not good at remembering things, so when I can use one thing in multiple places, that's much better for me. When we had finished that, we did a little bit with the pie show and the chin attack, which is another thing that we had done in a previous class. Instead of using the tong, you use a pie, and then as you come in, you sort of attack the chin, but we added a different end to it. After you attack that chin, you could trap the hand, because their hand is right here, and then you could attack the head. So that trap was a little bit different, but that head attack we've done in a ton of different places before. That being said, I'm gonna have to practice that like head attack. I'm not very good at it. I have trouble positioning myself in the right place and then turning correctly so that I can take down my opponent. So that's something I'm gonna have to work on going forward. The last thing we did in class was a defense against a hook punch using that like sort of spear thing that Wing Chun has. It has a name, but I don't know what it is. And that spear thing is in a later form, so I haven't learned it yet. Basically, you sort of tried to block the hook punch, and then if they were too strong, you could sort of do a second one. But I don't really think I was doing it right. I haven't learned that form yet, so I'm not entirely sure if I was doing that strike right. So I'm not gonna go into it too much. I liked the look of the self-defense. If you did it, you ended up sort of behind your opponent, which is a good place to be in a fight. But I'm a little unsure on that attack. I'm not even sure what the name is. Bu something maybe? So hopefully it will get revisited eventually after I've learned that form and have a better idea how to use that technique, because I did like it a lot.